Hello everyone, and welcome back to a Let's Play of Thief Gold, with your host Invalid. You may notice we're actually in the main desktop, and not in the game. The reason for that is because we're going to be accessing a special mission. In order to do that, however, we need to change our user config. I've gone ahead and already done this, using Notepad. I really don't like Windows 10, but it is what it is. Normally you'll find the user config has the mission map numbers right here. This line that we've added, starting _mission space 16, is a new line that doesn't normally show up unless you type it in yourself. What that will allow us to do, however, is once we launch the game, it will allow us to access a bonus mission.
I have a simple job planned for this evening. Break into a guarded mansion, steal another fat nobleman's priceless trinket, and leave quietly. Lord Bafford is out of town, and rumor has it that the captain of his house guard went with him as a bodyguard. The time is ripe for a bit of burglary. The front gate of Lord Bafford's manor is always guarded, and the main street is far too exposed. But Cuddy tells me there's a better way in, around to the side, more out of the way. One guard, and likely no witnesses to complicate matters. The piece Cuddy wants is a scepter, silver, jewels, the usual adornments. It should command a high price. Bafford, like most of his kind, probably keeps his treasures on the top floor of the place, close to his heart, and far from his servants. No point in waiting. I have Cuddy's old sketches of the place, and everyone who's going to be asleep inside already is. It's time to begin.
Bafford's happy home always gets me at the end of that. Welcome to the blooper reel. This is the spoof mission, I guess, taking place in the first mission of Thief. I've tried to record this a few times now, over the past few months. It's been a hell of a journey. It's just like this rest of this Let's Play. It's just ups and downs everywhere. From moving, to switching rigs, to all sorts of things. All culminating in what is essentially just a spoof. We are going to be playing on difficulty expert because there are a couple characters that we would otherwise miss out on. This entire level is pretty well known by the Thief community actually, but for those of you who are watching that haven't heard of this mission before, it's exactly what it says here. Tour the level and see some of the things that cropped up as bugs during production of Thief, and some others that existed only in our rather twisted imaginations. When you've seen all you care to, press the button in the main entrance. Some of the bugs that they will talk about in this mission will actually be explained by little plaques that we can find scattered around the area. We really don't need to worry about items here, but it is what it is. Already off to a good start. We have strange textures and a Burrick on march.
Hey, I'm going to the bear pit tomorrow. You want to come with?
We'll catch up with the Burrick in a little bit.
Couldn't pay me enough. What? You soft buddy. The bears have got these new muzzles with underslung cheek spikes.
Yep, they are all T-posing, and I'm not going to pay attention to the conversation because we've already heard it. Way at the beginning of the Let's Play, way back in episode 1.
Surprised you're even in this job.
7 years ago.
My poor tummy. Shut up, you taffer. You want blood? You should have been there
7 years ago.
Tell you,
when this Let's Play started. Crazy. We have to go in through the front entrance, however, because every other way is blocked off. So we don't have access to the water cache, we don't have access to the back alley, as far as I know. And for good reason, there's some crazy stuff that goes on in here. You may also notice all these really weird textures over here, these kind of bright squares and triangles. That's their default texture. Jorge, or maybe George, I'm not entirely sure how they wanted to pronounce it. I'm sure they explained it in one of the interviews that they had way back in the day. I actually haven't listened to those interviews in a long time. There was a podcast that interviewed various developers from Looking Glass Studios, including, I think it was Terry McAuliffe. I could be remembering her name completely wrong, but she was the voice of Shodan in the System Shock series. And then there was Ken Levine, who went on to found Irrational Games, the co-developers of System Shock 2, as well as the main developer of BioShock. A couple other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's some really fascinating tidbits in there, both about the design around Thief and all the other games, and just the process of how Looking Glass came to be built up through Origin and then through EA Games, once Origin was bought up by them, and then kind of how everything fell apart and they dissolved and went about their own ways, but still being the titans, or one of the titans of game development back in the day, and being so revolutionary with games like Thief and System Shock that just kind of took the gaming world by storm. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, having other games that they released that were equally as in-depth as games like Thief, but hardly got any recognition whatsoever. I'll actually have a link to those interviews down below in the description. I brought them up before in my Let's Play, but considering this Let's Play has been 7 years in the making, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys don't want to be looking back through the episodes to find it, so I'll just put it down for you. But this is George, our default texture. We made it as eye-catching as possible to keep us from accidentally shipping anything colored this way. It's a good way to show kind of missing textures or something like that, so it doesn't look quite so bizarre. And that's actually a technique that a lot of developers still use today. And I love missions like this, or interviews and videos kind of going behind the scenes, because as someone who's been just sock him in the knob. There we go. All right, so they'll just T-pose there for a little while. Oh, here's my favorite part. You pick him up, you drop him. There we go. Oh man, even to this day, this game just has so many bizarre and hilarious things. I love it. But being interested in game development myself, it's actually been even more fascinating to go through these kinds of things and learn what developers even back in the day were dealing with. But I'll cover that more as we go through this this episode. There should be. Instead of arrows, he shoots apples at us. There we go. And we got the dancing zombies. Doing some thriller dances. Whatever the heck this is. I should know this. I recognize the dance. I just don't remember what it's from. I don't think it's Thriller, though. So to end this mission, I believe... I already don't remember. I believe the mission layout already talked about the button in the main entrance. That would be this one right here. So we're not going to press it, because we want to explore the rest of this level. That's some fun times with the lighting right there. Man, that's crazy that they're actually backlit like that. I think this is actually because of all the mod work that went into this game. I could be wrong, but back in the day, all of the lighting was, I believe, model based rather than even polygon based. So when Thief originally came out, around the same time as Half-Life and all these other titles, I'm pretty sure these models would have been completely lit up rather than just being spotlit like this. Either that or they designed that into the textures and animation somehow. If they did manage that back in the day, that would have been hella impressive. But let me just see if I can demonstrate here. So if we pick this guy up, if we put him in darkness, we've been seeing it throughout the Let's Play, but you put just part of the model in darkness and the entire model goes dark. How this is happening? I'm not sure, because that's not how the engine works. Be fascinating to find out, though. I'll leave you guys to it. Oh, hold on.
Where I can hang you.
And the torch is dealing damage to the guards. I don't know if that was a bug from development, or if that's something where they just added it to be funny. Because there's no plaque or anything talking about it here. So I'm thinking that that may have been just something they included as kind of a joke, more or less. But we have some of these wonderful placeholder art pieces, along with the finished products. I'm not even sure if these are placeholder or if it was just like, this may have actually just been goofing around, because they already have the final textures in there. They just have these drawn over these stick figures. Back in the day when developers had senses of humor.
There. Guards, this way.
And then Mr. Textureless right here, looking like an actual lump of clay. Man. And to think now, with all the textures, I mean, a lot of the textures in this game, both for the models and for the brushes, all these different walls in the DROM editor, the level editor for Thief, are called brushes. There's no interaction with them other than just colliding with them. You can't do anything else special with them. But, back in the day, the textures look, I mean, they don't look like pristine, they don't look like AAA graphics here, but back in the day, you had a lot less space on your computer. You were working with megabytes of storage. You were relying on floppy disks and CDs to hold a lot of the data for the games back then. It wasn't like now where you can just stream it to your device or install it on like a 4 terabyte hard drive. You know, people complain nowadays about games being huge, you know, and for good reason. I mean, Call of Duty, the newest Doom Eternal, Apex, a lot of those games are like 70 to 100 gigabytes of data. It's like a fifth of a terabyte hard drive. But back then, you did not have the hard drive space for a game. And that was when you had resolutions on monitors being like 320 by 2 something.
Is someone there? Don't hurt me. Help! Save me!
On a
There's
4x3
someone here.
monitor with on a 4x3 CRT monitor. And when you had to have specific colors designated as transparency for textures and pictures. There was no there was no transparency layer back in the day. You had to specify a specific color. A lot of the time it was like a really bright cyan as your transparent color for whatever texture you wanted to use or something like that. And sometimes when you forgot about that, you could end up with a weirdness like this. And fun fact, his eyebrows are transparent. Let me see if I can show it here. I don't know if it's gonna pick up in the video with YouTube compression. I'm bummed that he kind of got flipped this way instead of the other way around. But that's alright. His pupils and eyebrows are transparent. Just take my word for it. It's funny. But it's also just absolutely crazy. Just how far everything has come. And this game is still a legacy. It's still hailed as the first game of its kind to bring stealth into a first-person action-adventure, to have such a deep story, and so many interactables that you can deal with, and stealth as the main mechanic in a 3D world. It's incredible to me that not only is it a legacy that so many people recognize, but it's a legacy that's still being maintained to this day. With T-Fix and all these other fan-made community patches made by both developers of the original game and by fans who have just poured through the game data to allow the game to look this good and run even on modern systems. I mean, I know the game doesn't look good by most people's standards these days, but you can run this game on a potato. And compared to how it looked back in the day, when it ran on the highest hardware you could get, this still is miles ahead of what it was. With all the high-res texture packs and the skies and the water textures and everything. It's just... And this, by the way, is Cuddy, who we saw in the second level, breaking from Crag's Cleft. Trying to get your friend Cuddy from Crag's Cleft to lie on the ground took more programmer and designer hours than you would believe, and it still never worked. Hours before the final shipping build, we gave up and made him stand. And it's things like that, just reading what developers went through back in the day and understanding that we still go through some of the same hurdles with particle emissions, with certain animations, all these different limitations that we may not anticipate, all these different things that we want to do that seem so intuitive.
You don't think you could just vanish in the shadows again, Trixie boy? I see ya.
That make no difference. Like,
Die!
what did it take to get this character to look like this? Was this intentionally made to look ridiculous, or was it in fact a bug? And they just kept it in as part of this build. Also nice little fire elemental. It sounds like we got spiders above us. Nope, they're chest mimics! It's still, oh, that's, no. That's not how you're supposed to do. Stop. Give me the Dark Souls mimics any day. That is horrible. That is actually horrible. What are the zombies doing up here? Apparently they moved for some reason. I don't know why. But they did. And these guys have stopped dancing. Hey, get back to dancing. Come on. Oh, they're actually untouchable. Oh, never mind. I guess they got tired. There you go. Back to your dance routines. Yeah. Get back to your dancing. That's so interesting. Huh. Actually, is there something right here? Huh. I don't know why the zombies just decided to do that. I wonder if there's a bug within the within the blooper reel. Excuse me, buddy.
Since I'm in here, I might as well pick up something for myself.
Whoa! Relax there, buddy. Okay, good. He's running off. We're fine. Man. This game is a treasure. And it's so nice that it's gotten all this love and support from a fan base for a game that should be dead on all accounts, but it still has fan missions, it's still getting... It's just wonderful. All from trying to explore the idea of what it would be like to actually play as a thief. Jump to see a bug we accidentally shipped with. Yup. Yeah, this was in the original shipping build for Thief the Dark Project. I haven't actually tested to see if it's still there or not, but it might be. But it's fine. Burrick sound. And then we have the slippery beams for whatever reason. Oh, God. Something that will never work are the physics for this ball. Oh, that was so close! I think that actually made it in.
It's a throne room. How pretentious can you get?
Alright, these guys won't hurt us, I know that for a fact. Had our renderer been able to manage mirrors, Thief players might have been startled to find that Garrett's image wasn't as impressive as the box art cover.
Die!
That's right, I forgot. Yeah, you're just a box. Your collision is just a couple spheres, but your placeholder is a box. And of course, as any good throne room should have, you have a toilet. Can't have a throne room without an ostentatious toilet. I don't think we'll actually be able to stun them here because this is a full bright room. So maybe we can find somewhere else. Oh, we have this. The default weight for many objects was 30 pounds. However, if the heat disk for a fire arrow, which makes a circular warping effect, had that weight, it would often bounce off your chest and knock you across the room, or even kill you.
Fall over!
Thankfully, however, they removed that. Oh, and then we have another bug with these guys, which is the fact that they just stop moving. No knockdown animation, no nothing. They just stop moving. You good there, bud? Yeah, so apparently one of the guards was turned into a burrick. Or a burrick was turned into a guard. One of those two. Just unlock those two doors. Making the very obnoxious clank sound effect. We have Burrick on a feast here. Well, that's interesting. And I completely forgot to mention the rotted Burrick that was in the kitchen. Oh, this is a fun room. Our final design for the bug beast, facing off against the original concept for the creature. You ready for some nightmare fuel? Yep. Imagine how this game would have been if that's what the bug beast looked like. How different of a game this would be. That's some Lovecraft level shit right there. Oy oy oy. That is some nightmare fuel and a half right there. Some projectiles when given 0 launch velocity are odder than others. Unfortunately, all we get is some gas arrows for this demonstration, but it's a gas arrow we can pick up. Oh, and this papyrus is great. It has some really good insights into the game. Let me show you. Taffer! I love the sense of humor here. It's great. Man, 7 years of playing a game that's 23, 24 years old now? Full of just bright ideas, some of which were very unpolished, but were still nonetheless exciting to explore and play through and just discover. This has been one hell of a ride. And then there's the Let's Play, where it was over 3 years of... over 7 years. Different rigs, different points in my life, different viewpoints as a gamer, as a person, as a YouTuber. This definitely holds something special, even just as a game. This really is a treat. And for T-Fix to still be supported, for mods and fan missions to still be created, for there still to be competitions, for members of the community to have lived and died, and to have contributed so much. That's when a game truly holds a legacy. It's incredible. Did he just disappear? It's odd. Looked like he disappeared for a second there. But unfortunately, that's where this journey ends with Thief Gold. With a little man shrunken in on himself, swinging at me with a sword twice his size. This is bittersweet, to say the least. This jumble of a Let's Play. This jumble of a game. But, on that note, let's take our leave. And I'm sure there are things I missed in there, but if you have the game, you can absolutely look at it yourself. Imagine what would the world be like if Looking Glass Studios was still around and they were still making games as advanced as this. Not games like Underworld Descendant, because that is an atrocity on so many levels. Oh my goodness. Such creativity, though. But, with that being said, now that this game is done, whoops. Now that this game is done, it's time for the next one. To enter the Metal Age. It's time for us to enter the Metal Age. Which is probably renowned as the best Thief game out of the series. It takes all the formula of Thief Gold and refines it into a proper stealth game, and really hones in on who Garrett is as a character, as a thief, as a person, how he goes about the world that he's in. And kind of expanding upon the world and the Keepers themselves. But that will have to wait until the next Let's Play. Until then, I hope you all are having a wonderful time. Stay warm, or cool if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Stay safe. And don't forget there is always another adventure ahead. All it takes is a little bit of looking. Until the next video, everyone, take care. Bye for now.